When I talk to BASLP students and young professionals, I keep hearing the same question. Did I choose the right field? Will this give me the future? And why don't people recognize me our profession? Today, I want to answer all these questions clearly, calmly, and honestly. I will compare the audiology and speech language pathology with some of the major career routes students consider after 12th science, show you a few objective facts from the published reports, and share my personal experience so you can decide with more confidence. Hi, my name is Sadanand Gore. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for encouraging words, messages, and the calls I received from you after seeing my videos. First, look at this real size of the problem we are solving. Hearing and speech disorder is huge worldwide and in India. India alone has an estimated 63 million people with significant speech and hearing issues. This is not a small niche. It's a national public health challenge that needs trained professionals and across hospitals, schools, early intervention programs, and community services. At the same time, traditional prestige routes like MBBS and engineering are not the safe, simple paths that people imagine. The number of medical seats in India has grown rapidly in recent years, but jobs, infrastructure, and the postgraduate seats have not increased at the same pace. Thousands of medical seats remain vacant in the same years, and many young doctors find themselves re-preparing for the exam or taking non-clinical roles because the system cannot absorb everyone immediately. Now, doing MBBS is not enough. You have to have some scope of good future growth only after you do the specialization. And I will not talk about the college fees, that's a different topic altogether. Engineering is also crowded. Many engineering graduates struggles to find a core role and face project deadlines, night shifts, and burnout. These are structural issues and not a reflection of individual. The result is that having a degree is no longer an automatic guarantee of stable, satisfying employment in those fields. Now compare that landscape with the audiology and speech language pathology. Internationally and in India, the profession remains under-resourced. There are far fewer qualified audiologists and speech language pathologists than the need demands. From newborn hearing screening and cochlear implant, teams to schools, community rehabilitation, hearing in industry roles, and research. Because supply is low, the need is high. The placement rates and the job availability for trained graduates are comparatively strong. This imbalance of demand and supply gives us an immediate professional advantage, less competition for relevant roles, and many different directions to build a career. Let's talk earnings in a practical way. Income in audiology and speech therapy is highly skill dependent and scalable. Fresh graduates often get placed in hospitals, clinics, or schools. With experience and entrepreneurial effort, you can add private practice, hearing and dispensing, cochlear implant programming, telepractice, and training to others. I have known clinicians who combine clinic income, hospital visits, and teletherapy to build a multiple income streams. I personally know professionals running private centers that make 6-figure profit a month. If you move abroad, the earning potential increases further because of dollar, pound, and euro salaries. Contrast to that, the professions where incomes are capped by fixed pay scales or by limited number of senior roles in many MBAs and engineering tracks, only a small percentage reach a very top jobs and majority remain in mid-level roles for years. In audiology and SLP, upward earning mobility depends largely on your skills, entrepreneurship, and willingness to diversify, and not a tiny number of senior slots. That means there is essential no hard ceiling on what a motivated clinician can earn. Work-life balance is another major, sometimes overlooked advantage. Our work is an appointment-driven, predictable, and largely non-emergency. We don't usually face life or death crisis at midnight that force us to cancel the family event or shorten the holidays. This is different from many medical specialties where emergencies and ICU calls are routine. And it is different from IT and engineering roles that demand late night work for international clients or sprint deadlines. As audiologists and speech therapists, we can plan holidays, block time for our family, and control our schedules. That control over time and mental load is huge quality of life benefit that many young people value as much as their income. What about technology and AI? Artificial intelligence is changing many professions, coding, data analysis, some diagnostic tasks, but the core of what we do is human, rapport, counseling, behavioral therapy, hands-on procedures, nuanced communication and motivation. AI can assist us with tools, scheduling automated reports generation, or signal processing in hearing aids, but it cannot replace the human presence needed for therapy, hearing aid counseling, and complex clinical judgments. For the foreseeable future, I would say at least decade or two, based on the current trend, our profession remains largely human driven and resilient to wholesale automation. AI will be a tool that amplifies our reach and not replacement. There are still reasons why negativity exists among students and newcomers, and I want to be honest about them. Public awareness of audiology and SLP is low. Many people, including parents and relatives, have never heard of profession or understand what we do. So students compare themselves to the doctors or engineers by default. Some training programs don't emphasize communication skills, entrepreneurship, or clinical confidence, which creates self-doubt. Media and public prestige still favor certain professions, and our field is relatively young and building recognition. That combination produces frustration for people who expected immediate social validation. But this is exactly where opportunity lies, because the profession is in foundation phase. The people who build clinical skills, community awareness, and leadership now will grow with the field for decades. Now, a personal story. When I chose audiology and speech language pathology after 11th science, my father was not supportive. For almost 3 years, he believed I had made a mistake. He would call from a telephone booth and say it loud. I knew the decision felt right to me and trusted the inner calling. Today, he is happy and I am grateful that I made the right choice. Not because the field gave me everything effortlessly, but because I committed of giving something back to building services, training students, and raising awareness. That change in mindset, focusing on what you can contribute to the profession rather than what profession gives you immediately, is crucial. So these were my thoughts based on my experiences and understanding of the field. Now, I really want to hear from you. Do you really agree what I said? If yes, please comment. Let me know what are your thoughts. And if you don't, still go ahead and comment. Tell me what you disagree with me and why. I would love to read your perspective. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.